let's get this party started. Welcome to Way Back Wednesday. You found your way down to Matcave Gaming, and tonight we are not only going to be doing some gaming, but we are also going to be diving into the world of comic books, and this is going to be a lot of fun as we're going to be talking about one of my favorite characters of all time. And right off the bat, we just got a new member. We got a member chat here from the Stanleys, a member for 3 months, says, "Hey all, good to see you, my friend. Why is my pop-up not working?" I'm going to see why that is right now, because I want to be able to get your guys' pop-up chats up here. There we go. I think that worked. There we go. There's the Stanleys. A member for 3 months, 16-bit tier. Thank you so much. We got Nerd Mafia here, a member for 9 months, 8-bit member. Good to see you, my friend. Welcome, welcome, everybody, down to the Matcave tonight. This is going to be an interesting stream tonight. I'm going a bit outside of my comfort zone here. You know, as much as I can talk about games and video games and everything from like the 8-bit and 16-bit era especially, when it comes to the world of comic books, I am nowhere near anything of an expert on the subject. But throughout the years, there have been occasional issues that have meant something to me. And in this particular case, the death of Superman was one of those issues. So guys, tonight, I'm excited for this one. I really want to get into talking about this. This comic book series especially means a lot to me for a very specific reason. And we're going to get into all of that tonight on Way Back Wednesday. Guys, let's get this party started. Me unmuting my mic. Tonight, guys, we're going to be talking about the death of Superman and the impact on not only the world of comic books, but the impact it had on pop culture overall, especially in video games. Now, guys, this particular comic book, and I have a few issues that were part of this saga, if you will. This particular one I picked up in more recent years, but the rest that I'm going to show you here tonight, I got back in 1993, and I didn't have this specific issue. I didn't have the real start to it. Now, I know there's a whole bunch of other issues of comics that were part of the death of Superman and even the return of Superman that revolved around many other characters within the DC universe. But this particular set of comics sparked a storyline that was obviously huge, because Superman is, and always will be, in my opinion, one of the largest and greatest superheroes of all time. And for a character like that to die, that was huge. But there were a lot of things that came into play with that even back then in the early 90s. And very much like many things in the early 90s, if there was a movie or a show or even a comic book, there was a really good chance there was going to be a video game tie-in to go with it, and the death of Superman was no exception. On the Sega Genesis, and in this particular case, we're going to be playing the Super Nintendo version, the death and return of Superman was an arcade-style 16-bit era beat-em-up. So basically, tonight, when we go through this game, we're going to be bashing and smashing our way through enemies, getting to those boss battles, and see if we can work our way through the game. Now, this particular game happens to be one of the hardest beat 'em up games I ever played. This game is brutal. It is so intense. The difficulty spikes are insane, and they start almost right away. The first two levels, I'd say, are all right, but you can get your butt kicked real fast, especially in the boss battles. So what we're going to do tonight, for the sake of getting through and seeing the whole game, there are 10 levels to this game. We're going to be using the magic of cheat codes so that we can work our way through this, so we can see the animation in the game and get through the story. And as we go, we're going to be diving into these comic books. So before we start the game, because obviously the game has to begin at the beginning of the story, the death of Superman. Now, when this series came out, this started coming out back in 1992 and worked its way through 1993. Now, there were many issues of comics that came out following this story, not just within the Superman comics themselves, but there were in the Justice League comics and following multiple DC characters, learning about their experiences as these events were unfolding, and just the amazing artwork that happens throughout this comic. I mean, let me just bring this up here real quick, just to give you a sample of it. I mean, the artwork in these comics were unbelievable. There's so many iconic shots that are in this particular issue. The battle, Doomsday is here. I mean, this is some of the imagery that, when I think of Superman comics, this is what I see in my mind. This is the style that I grew up with. Now, like I said, I am nowhere near an expert in the world of comic books, but there were a few that I did enjoy over the years, and this was one that I really did love. And it was actually, at the time, it was heartbreaking. In all honesty, Superman is my favorite superhero of all time, and the fact that he was killed off was insane. But even that storyline itself was not without its level of, for lack of a better term, controversy. There were some interesting things that happened along the way when it came to the world of Superman. So here's what we're going to do. The death of Superman. That's where it really started for me with reading these issues, the battle with Doomsday and leading up to that battle. So what we're going to do is we're going to dive into the game and we're going to cover the battle with Doomsday. And then when we come out of that, we're going to go and take a look at the following issues and take a look at the story that's involved with this game. So guys, let's get over to the game screen. We're playing the Super Nintendo edition of The Death and Return of Superman. Here we go, guys. All right, guys. Death and Return of Superman. Let's do this. We should have game audio now. This plays a little bit of some demos like many of these games do. Hopefully the volume is good. I did some tests to make sure that everything was okay with it, so we should be good on volume. As always, you guys are my eyes and ears. If we need to make any adjustments, let me know on the fly. We will make those adjustments as needed. And yeah, let's do this. Let's start the game. We're going to get into it. Like I said, there's 10 levels, so there's only so much story they can really tell in these. But the cool thing with this, there are these cutscenes here. Metropolis, present day, a peaceful summer evening when suddenly... Oh man, all the power goes out. A complete power failure. Now this was a cool, interesting part of the beginning of the story. This is before Doomsday gets there, but we get these underworlders that were causing some trouble. You know what they remind me of? These characters remind me of, what were they called? The Morlocks in X-Men? All those mutants that were living down in like the subway tunnels. It's a bit loud here, but not too bad. Let's bring it down a little bit. Let's bring it down a little bit. Tell you what, let's do that. Should be okay about there. Let me know, guys, if we are okay at that point. I know sometimes with games like this, the sounds can get a little intense, so we can make it a little lower if needed. So here we go. Level 1, Siege of the Underworlders. It's not drowning me out? Okay, cool. So here we go. Some classic beat-em-up style here. Now, we got a few moves we could do. Obviously, we have our attack, which is a bunch of punches. We could jump. We can fly. We can, like, kind of do a jump punch or a jump kick with some of the characters that we play as, because we are going to play as different versions of Superman. We also have his heat vision. Now, This particular move, I mean, you would think his heat vision would be incredibly powerful. All it does is like stun a character momentarily, and it takes very little damage away from them. And as far as I understand, this never gets upgraded. So what I'm doing is I am using the cheat code so we can get through this. So a combination of button presses will refill my energy along with my special moves. So let's make our way through here and see if we can work our way to the battle with Doomsday. Now these games are also, this game is very reminiscent also of the style of Maximum Carnage, the Spider-Man game. That's a great game. I have that on the Sega Genesis. I have the red Carnage cartridge for that. And it is a ton of fun playing that style of a beat-em-up game. But this is very arcade-like. My question is to you guys, I should have looked this up before I started playing this. I never bothered to look. Was this game actually in the arcades? That I don't know. If it was, I never played this game in the arcades. But I played this on home consoles many times, and I really, really enjoy this game, even though it is incredibly difficult. The fact that characters like this can even do damage to Superman is actually kind of hilarious. So you see we're really low on health right now after getting shot by this minigun. We can fill that right back up with a combination of button presses there, so not too bad there. Ted's Nerd World has gifted a Matcave Gaming membership, and that membership went to T. Davidson. Welcome to the members. Thank you so much, Ted. I appreciate it, and welcome, T. Davidson. Very greatly appreciated. Black Dragon says, doesn't having Superman taking damage go against the whole character of Superman? That's what I think. I think, if anything, like, obviously you have to be able to have a threat in the game, but the amount of damage that these enemies do to you, I think it should have been reduced. Like, I can get zapped with electric, and that doesn't do too much, but we'll refill that as we go. Oh, I thought the guy was going to pop out right there. So as you can see, I mean, this is a pretty standard beat-em-up style that we're all very familiar with from this day and age. The 16-bit era especially had so many amazing beat-em-up games. But even back on the 8-bit with things like Double Dragon, we had the Ninja Turtles games like that, Streets of Rage on the Sega Genesis, Maximum Carnage, like I mentioned before. Nerd Mafia said, now I gotta go search for my Maximum Carnage. Definitely. Maximum Carnage is also a really tough beat-em-up game, but one of my all-time favorites. We're gonna make our way through this elevator section here, and we're gonna see repeated character types, enemy types that come up throughout the game here. That's very common with these games, but we're right now in the story. We are dealing with just kind of stuff Superman was handling before Doomsday really started his rampage on Metropolis. But meanwhile, while Superman's handling the Underworlders, Doomsday was out there working his way across the country and making his way towards Metropolis. And he had this like green suit on, which was getting torn up as he went because a lot of other characters were attacking him and trying to fight him. Doomsday was killing people along the way. He was just an absolute terror out there. We're going to do a power move right here. Get that guy off his bike. But yeah, it got pretty brutal with Doomsday's march across the country to get to Metropolis. And in recent years, and we'll touch on this later on in the stream, when they made the animated films, they're pretty dark and get pretty brutal, especially the most recent animated film of this story. And it's pretty cool, though. I really like those animated films. You know what it is? The DC animated content. It's just top-notch, and really has been for years. I mean, I'm talking like going all the way back to like Batman the Animated Series and the Superman Animated Series, which, by the way, I just picked up both of those complete series on Blu-ray. I've been building my hard copy collection lately because things have dropped in price dramatically. So if you guys are looking for hard copies of certain movies or TV shows, I'm telling you, now's the time to go looking, because places are just giving these things away like candy. So build up your collection now, before it goes away. And then it becomes real expensive at that point. This guy with the minigun. Now these enemies aren't too bad here in the first level. They're pretty reasonable, but the difficulty spike, I'm telling you, it's gonna happen within like a level or two. And without the cheat code, to be honest with you, it would take all night for us to get through this game together. One of my favorite things about this game was that you get to play as all the different versions of Superman. The other Supermen that are part of the Reign of Supermen part of the story. And we'll touch on that even on the comic books once we get through there. Because we'll take some moments as we go here through the levels to take a look at these comic books. The source material, if you will, of where this game got its roots. And if I remember correctly, we faced Doomsday pretty early on in the game. We're going to deal with one of the Underworld bosses right here. I've found in games like this, yeah, look at this. If you can get a boss all the way to the edge of the screen and time it to stay just within that hitbox, you can wreck them just like that. And then you really feel like Superman. You don't get to play as Bizarro in this one. This particular game, you play as the different Supermen, though, that are part of the Reign of Supermen. A being of unknown origin is heading for Metropolis, destroying everything in its path. Not even the Justice League can stop it. So there were issues of the comics where the Justice League was trying to take out Doomsday, and there he is, that green outfit I was talking about. And Doomsday just tears through the Justice League. It gets so brutal. He really just... Doomsday was no joke. He was absolutely no joke. Doomsday is so intense. All right, level 2, Doomsday in Metropolis. So I think we actually face Doomsday at the end of this level. It's that jamming tune again. All right, here we go. This level reminds me of Turtles in Time. You know, the like big metal thing falling down from the sky there. Oh, got electrocuted. I remember hating this guy with the Molotov cocktails. I would always get hit by them. I try to jump through them and then jump over them, and I still would get hit. Pow! Take that. I have a grab. Oh, there we go. Oh, I just have to walk into him, and then I can grab him. Let me show you how weak this heat vision is. it's a joke. Actually, I can use it to knock him off of there, so that's convenient. Also takes a minute to fire it. Yeah, look at that. It just like bounced off this guy. These are just like normal punks. And my heat vision, Superman's heat vision, bounces off them like it's nothing. The Stanley says, fun fact, Sam Witwer played the human form of Doomsday in Smallville. Yes, he did. And his performance in that show is outstanding. Oh my god, that was season 8, I believe. Yeah, that was season 8 of Smallville. Sam Witwer is in that, pretty much that entire season. Even if you've never watched Smallville, it's worth checking out Sam Witwer as Doomsday in that. You know, obviously the show kind of does its own thing with the characters and their roots and everything like that. But I love that storyline. It was very cool. Black Eyed Dragon says, I like the animated Superman Batman Apocalypse when Batman outwits Darkseid. Yes, yes. That's a great one, too. See, again, the animated DC content. It's so good. It is so good. And so many people don't watch the animated stuff because they're like, oh, it's a cartoon. But I'm telling you, the DC cartoons, they're dark. They're not really made for kids. These, you know, the feature film ones. Oh, here's Doomsday. Oh, man, I just tossed him. I didn't realize he was going to show up, like, mid-level here. Oh! Oh, boy, that laugh. Oh, look how much one punch just took away. I'm down. Look at that. Doomsday is no joke. Land some hits, not get hit by this weight here. There we go. Get out of here, Doomsday. There's no difficulty level settings in this game either. So it just progressively gets harder. Oh! Oh my god, he wrecked me. There we go. Alright. Take care of him for now. He's gonna run off. Whew! I didn't realize he would show up mid-level right there. Alright, Soups. Oh! Okay, I thought the fight was continuing right there. More punks. Get out of here with those Molotovs. What are you doing? Ow. There we go. I love that you can fly in this too. Oh, I missed. Like you can fly up and have attacks and everything from the air, which is great. There are some flying enemies later in the game, so that comes in handy. Just get these guys on the edge of the screen. Ted Snowworld says Reign of the Supermen is the latest version. Yeah, so Reign of the Supermen, they actually most recently they did another animated film of it. There were two at this point, three technically if you consider the two parts, Death of Superman and Reign of the Supermen. The most recent one that was done was a PG-13 film, and I think handled brilliantly. We're going to talk about that later in the stream as well. Sorry, I'll catch up on chat in just a second, guys. Get these punks out of the way. The Stanley's asked, isn't Doomsday's thing what doesn't kill it make it stronger? Yeah, so with Doomsday, it's very similar to the Hulk in the sense that, like, the more damage you do to him, it's almost like the stronger he gets. Doomsday was this... now, listen, anyway, correct me if I'm wrong, because like I said, I am certainly no expert in the world of comic books and all the lore, but if I understand it correctly, Doomsday was a creature created... Oop, come on, get up there. Come on, Soups. A Kryptonian project, basically, a secret project that was made on Krypton to be this, like, unstoppable war machine, and then it came to Earth, like, in a capsule. Pod Racing Palpatine, what's up? Let's get these guys out of here. We're using the cheat codes for the game tonight, and I might as well take advantage of it, because when I refill my energy, it refills the special ability as well. So if we get caught up in a crowd too much, we can clear it. Boom! Love throwing the guys. Tripping Orc, what's going on? Get out of here with those. I want to reread these comic books. I've been in the mood to do that, which is why I thought about playing this game. And I haven't read these in a really long time. So I'm looking forward to doing that again. There's been a few re-releases of these comic books over the years, so there's plenty of ways for people to get their hands on them these days. You know, if you can't get the originals, there have been re-releases of them, and I'll actually show you a couple of them tonight. Oh, here we go. What do we got? What do we got? It's Doomsday again? It is. Oh, I caught him with that throw. Oh, he smacked me down. Oh my goodness. Take that. Yeah. Oh, no, he's having none of that. Oh. Doomsday. You beast. Oh man, look at how much energy he takes away. It's just like one or two hits and I'm like dead. Oh my god. Doomsday was an abomination, not to be confused with the Abomination. Oh my god, he's wrecking me. Man, his hitbox is like just on his inside. Can I throw him again? Oh boy, he's kicking my butt. Look at this, guys. This is what I'm talking about. Like, if we didn't have this, I'm gonna refill the energy in a second, but my god, we would be dead in seconds. I can't land a hit. He's just destroying me. There we go, there we go. Look at these jump kicks. Go Mortal Kombat style. The heat vision, it does nothing. Oh, punched me in the ankle. There we go. There we go. Beautiful. All right, what do we got? What do we got? Oh! And then just like in the comics, that last hit from both of them that just obliterates them. Now, obviously, it's way more brutal in the comic, but we're going to get a cutscene here. Oh, that iconic shot right there. To save the city, Superman gave his all and more. The world will forever mourn this day as the day's greatest hero fell. Who will defend us now? Man, I mean, this is like after like Doomsday has already like torn through the Justice League. There, you know, he didn't, as far as I remember, he didn't kill any of them, but he tore through them. Newsflash, reports of Superman sightings are pouring in from all over the city, so the game now jumps quite a bit. It's jumping over a lot of the story points. Look at this. Some folks claim to have seen a Superman that is half man, half machine. Others claim to have seen a Superman who is the same, yet somehow changed. I believe this one was called The Last Son of Krypton. The other one was The Man of Tomorrow. Still, others believe they have seen a young Superboy. That's a good one right there. I love this. Finally, we have received eyewitness reports of a man made of steel. I really like that storyline as well. All right, guys, we are going to jump back over into the world of comics. So let's jump back over to full screen here for a moment, and we're going to take a look at these comic books again. All right, guys. So what do you think? So we're 2 levels in, 2 full levels out of 10. It jumps right away to getting to the battle between Superman and Doomsday, done in a classic beat-em-up style. So there's only so much, you know, the game's going to be able to do with that, but we have now accomplished the battle with Doomsday. The rest of the levels going forward is going to revolve around the reign of the Supermen, which was a really interesting point. But the thing that that they jumped over quite a bit of, and actually we'll touch on that in a second. We've got some gifted memberships here. Tripping Orc has gifted 5 Matcave Gaming memberships. Thank you so much, my friend. And everybody, welcome to the memberships. We've got Mars Monkey Max gets one, the Padawannabe, Snakey24, Money35, and T Davidson all get gifted memberships to Matcave Gaming. Welcome, everybody. We got those emojis to use for you guys that are now unlocked. Feel free to use them in the chat. Speaking of chat, let me catch up here a little bit. Black Dragon says, if I remember the lore correctly, the Doomsday Project was started by General Zod, but not completed. Yeah, I believe you're correct. If I understand it correctly, Zod was involved with the creation of Doomsday. We got the alerts all popping in here. Let's see here. Great Radioactive Man reference. Black Dragon also says the X-Men will save us. Oops, sorry, wrong franchise. And we got those emojis coming in. Thank you so much, Nerd Mafia. I appreciate it. All right, so being that this is a short game, which beat-em-ups tend to be, there's only so much they're going to cover in the storyline. But after that point, after that moment, we see Lois holding Clark, holding Kal-El in the middle of the streets of Metropolis, dead. I mean, we get that classic shot of his cape torn, just hanging from a pole. It looks like a torn flag. Blood all over it, blood all over Kal-El. It's just a brutal image that ever since was just ingrained in my memory. It's something you can't unsee it. But during this time, in the comics, there was literally an issue about his funeral. Tons of Justice League members were there and other DC characters around that universe, all there for Superman's funeral. There were other issues, especially with the Justice League, following other characters and how this all impacted them, not only battling Doomsday themselves, but the impact of losing Superman and how they move forward from this. And then there was an interesting next edition that came out, and it was called Back from the Dead with a question mark. And this was a really interesting issue here. The arm you're seeing here is Jonathan Kent's. Jonathan Kent, in this issue, is in the hospital and suffers from a heart attack. And oh, this is such a great image right here, right on the inside here, of them grabbing each other's hands. This particular issue features Kal-El like kind of in the afterlife, and the artwork in this one is just phenomenal. So this was the life after death issue. We see Jonathan Kent in the hospital there, and then we see him finding Clark, basically in the afterlife, in heaven, if you will. But there's a lot of trippy things that happen in this issue, like where you're coming across, like, I guess, for lack of a better term, like just demons that are coming after Superman in this. So it gets really trippy. But meanwhile, back on the world, another group comes into play. I believe these guys were called the Defenders. And kind of it's almost like you're getting like mercenaries popping up. It was like, Superman's gone, and the city starts kind of going downhill with everything that's going on. So people are taking it upon themselves to kind of fill that void. And it gets a little strange, but the big thing that happens in this issue as you go through, this imagery is just insane. Everything that Jonathan Kent goes through, he starts reliving memories through the war, and it's just, look at this. It's some of the darkest artwork, and it's so good. It's so well done. Black Dragon says Superman in 78 and Superman 2 were great movies. Christopher Reeve did the character justice. Rest in peace. Yes, he did. I have watched the Christopher Reeve films so many times, especially the Richard Donner original film, and now the Richard Donner cut of Superman 2. I grew up with the theatrical release because at the time that's all there was, but several years back, we're going on many years back at this point, Warner Brothers and Richard Donner finally released his cut of the film of Superman 2, and in my opinion, it is the superior version of the films, and it's as close as they could get it to what it was supposed to be, where it brings back Marlon Brando, and there's all kinds of different storylines. They even use some cut footage, some unfinished footage that's in there as well, but I think it tells a better story. But yes, the Christopher Reeve Superman stories are just by far some of my absolute favorites. I don't know who this character is. Does it say? There's like this character in space. She's like made up of the universe. I don't know who this is. If anybody in chat or in the replay on the comics knows who this is, let me know. Very interesting character there. Oh, Black Dragon, you haven't seen the Donner cut? Oh, dude. That's basically on every release that's come out in the last 10 years or so. Of Superman 2. It generally comes with the Richard Donner cut, and it is so good. It's so good. Here's some more amazing imagery in here. This is like, at this point, Kal-El's kind of giving in and letting them take him, and Jonathan Kent's trying to get him to come back. But the biggest thing that starts to happen towards the end, and that's where they discover that Superman's body is gone. He's no longer in the crypt where they put him, and there starts to be sightings. Well, like the game just mentioned, there were sightings of Superman. There were Superman sightings, but like people said, they looked different. Something strange was happening there that was confusing people. They didn't know what to make of it. Was Superman alive? Was Superman back? Why does he look different? And all these different sightings describe him dramatically different in each one of those. And that started to build this amazing storyline where Kal-El himself is gone, but these other Supermen have sort of taken his place, but are handling things quite differently than Kal-El would. Now, we're going to jump into here a couple more levels here before we look back at these comic books. And I'm going to show you these particular issues of this comic series that I have. And I'll explain why these particular comic books are very, very special to me. And I will explain that to you guys in a little bit, but we're going to get back into some gameplay and see what we could do with getting through this storyline. We're 2 levels in. We're going into the 3rd level. Let's do this. All right, guys, here we go. Level 3. Assault on Cadmus. All right, now which Superman are we going to play as here? I think this might be the robot one. Yes, it is. All right, so now we've got a side-scrolling arcade-style shooter. These levels are pretty easy, to be honest. It's very repetitive, but I mean, just like any other beat-em-up game, they tend to be very repetitive by nature. But it's that arcade style. It's meant to be fun. You know, you're not really doing anything too crazy with these games. We are getting some power-ups along the way here to refill our lives, which is good. Super Cyborg, yeah. I think they, if I remember correctly, they nicknamed this particular one Man of Tomorrow. And the one with, like, the weird visor, the shades, I think was called The Last Son of Krypton. All right, there we go. These sections are fairly short. Okay, now we got some flying enemies. Let's see what his, he's got, like, this cannon. But just like Superman's heat vision, it only does so much damage. Let's see what his power is. Oh, he drops a bomb. That's pretty sick. But look, I love these large sprites. This was one of those things I love about the Super Nintendo. Their ability to kind of mimic arcades, I think, was phenomenal. And don't get me wrong, I grew up with the Sega Genesis, and I love the Genesis. But even the Genesis version of this same game, the sprites are just slightly smaller. The colors are a little bolder and darker, but they're a little bit smaller. So I've always preferred the Super Nintendo version of this game versus the Genesis version. But both consoles, I think, handled beat-em-ups really, really well. These projectile ones, it takes forever to fire them. Oh, what'd I miss? Oh, here we go. Oh, look, I hit him and it did nothing to him. Oh, that's one of the defenders we were looking at. He's got like more of an orange suit in the comic book. But he's wearing green here. But this is heading towards Cadmus Labs. And this particular Superman, the Man of Tomorrow, has an agenda. Oh, Superman Red Sun? Yes! Definitely a big twist on the Superman story. Basically, a whole different origin. Speaking of major twists on Superman's origin, has anyone in chat and in the replay in the comments, have you ever seen Brightburn? The movie Brightburn. If you've seen it, you know how intense that is. But it's I forget who made it. Was it I'm having a brain fart of the director's name. The guy that did Guardians of the Galaxy. Was it him that did it? It's Brightburn is what if Superman was a horror movie? James Gunn. Yeah, yes, it was James Gunn that did it. That was supposed to start an entire run of horror movie superhero movies. And it came and went with Brightburn. And I don't know why, because I thought Brightburn was fantastic. But what if Kal-El was found by a couple that had no idea how to take care of him or teach him right from wrong and all this stuff. And as a kid, What if he decides, I don't want to put up with anybody's crap, and I'm going to use my powers for whatever I want? And he basically becomes a slasher flick, except a super-powered Superboy is the villain. And it is phenomenal, guys. Brightburn is intense. I don't remember what bosses we fight in these later levels, because, believe it or not, we don't fight Doomsday anymore. It was just those first 2 levels that we deal with Doomsday. The rest of the game here is more about the reign of the Supermen. Stanley says, the character I was wondering about, the space girl I was looking at in the comic, might be Eternity. Okay. I'm not familiar with the character. And like I said before, I'm no expert on comic books, so there's a lot I have to learn about it, but I still enjoy them nonetheless. I love these level designs. Cadmus Labs looks awesome. There's all kinds of creepy stuff going on here in these test tubes and everything. I also love the look of Cyborg Superman. Kaplow. Gotta do my double jump to get up there. Turn that up. Oh! I feel like Cyborg Superman almost can take a little bit more of a hit, too. But I'm telling you, these enemies get so much harder in the later levels. It's ridiculous. I'm gonna clear these guys out a little bit. We still got a ways to go here. Kaplow! I love that see, the thing about Cyborg Superman, it's like he's using mechanical weapons. You know, it's not so much superpowers. Not to confuse with Saltburn. Oh! This guy flying around looks like Blue Beetle. Oh! Shot me in the back! How dare you! Oh my god, I just slammed that guy's head down on the ground. Whew. Where are we going? Down? Yep. Bring it on, boyos. I don't remember what boss we fight in this. I remember the final boss. I just don't remember the bosses for these levels. Like, who would be here at Cadmus Labs? Look at these guys back there. Oh, we got something. Oh, it's a robot. Got some Terminator stuff going on here. Oh, take a grenade. Oh, I blew off half of his arm. He's got like these projectiles that are coming at me here. Take that! Oh, wow, his projectile actually was useful. Did I get him? Oh, I got him. Doomsday! Alright. Here's Cyborg Superman's objective here, guys. He had a mission. He had a mission. Alright. So here we go. Fearing that Doomsday might somehow reawaken, the cyborg hurtles his body into deep space. And you know what? It's probably good that he did, because yes, Doomsday will eventually awaken. Alright, level 4, the last son of Krypton. So now we're starting to go through the other Supermen here. And we're going to dive back into these comics here in a second. Actually, let's do that now. I want to show you guys something here. All right. So, can't you toss his ass into the sun? You know, you'd think like maybe that's where we should probably put him, but I don't even know. Would Doomsday survive that? I mean, this is, I know in the comics, like eventually you see him wake up in space and he survives out there. I forget how he comes back or if somebody retrieves him. I'm not sure how that all played out, but in this part of the story, we're getting all these sightings, and there's these different versions of Superman that we start to see. And with that, the issues of the comic books that came out were some of the coolest comic books I've ever seen. This is my favorite set of comic books. And they also mean a lot to me because these particular comics, when they came out, my grandfather got them for me and my brother shortly before he passed. And this was something that, we never asked for them, at least not that I remember. I would have been about 11 years old at that point. And I did like Superman. I wasn't really collecting comic books, much, but I played obviously the video games with superheroes and watched, the movies and cartoons and stuff like that. But I remember I was at my grandparents' house and we were all outside on the back patio, and I think we were actually there for my grandfather's birthday. Um, and he pulls out this bag and gives it to me and my brother, and in it were these Superman comic books. And with it also was uh, this one that we looked at before. So it was this along with these these ones here that uh, I'll show you why I love them so much. But it was the fascinating thing about them was that, I'm looking at the back and we're seeing these different versions of Superman. The reign of the Supermen is upon us. I'm like, what is this? What is this all about? And I started to realize, oh my God, they killed Superman. It was the death of Superman. But the reason I really love these comics is the not only the cover, but also what's in the middle of the comic. So you check out this cover right here. We've got this one. You got the symbol here and everything. The Last Son of Krypton is back. This one's called. But then you open up the front cover to this image of the one we're about to play as in the game, and I thought this was such a cool picture, and each one of these has an awesome picture of these different Supermen. And then in the middle of each one of these is a centerfold with some of the coolest artwork in each one of them. Now, I think the idea was this was like a tear out little mini poster. Obviously I never tore it out. But man, look at, yes, Super Cyclops, right? The centerfold, right? Each one of these has the centerfold. And I just saw something as I was flipping through here real quick, just to kind of to throw a date on these comic books, by the way. Look what they're promoting. The Super Mario Brothers movie, guys. That puts the date on these right there. So this is the one with the guy with the shades, the Super Cyclops, right? And then we have one with Man of Steel. And I really love the storyline with this character because that's not one of the weird versions of Superman. This was a guy. He was a steel worker that Superman saved. And this guy wanted to protect people the way Superman protected people, and he built this suit out of steel, and he becomes the Man of Steel. And then, just like the other one, yeah, Super Shack, yeah, you go into the middle here, and then we've got another amazing image of Man of Steel with Lois. And he's got those jets, he's got the rockets on his feet and the blasters on his wrist. That is so cool. That is really cool. I love that one. And then we have the one that we just played as, the Cyborg Superman. I remember seeing this for the first time. I was No joke, I was actually a little scared of this one as a kid. But look at this. It's like freaking Superman became a Terminator. Do you see how I'm holding this up right now? And my hair just so happened to line up with that picture. How freaky is that? I didn't mean to do that, but that's hilarious. Anyways, we've got Terminator Superman. And that's terrifying, guys. And then just like the other ones, we'll flip to the center. I love this one. Look at this. Look at this, guys. How cool is that? That's incredible. I love the shading, especially on his face, on the robotic parts of his face. The shading is so good. And then finally, we get to SuperBoy. And here we go. He's got the leather jacket with the Superman icon on it, which is pretty cool. And then he also gets the image in the middle. And there he is. Look at this guy saving this girl from an explosion somewhere. Kal-El or Borg. Yeah. It's so crazy. I love that. I absolutely love it. So what happened of Kal-El to make him a cyborg? So each one of these, yeah, Superboy is like a 50s greaser. It was so cool the way they designed these characters. Now, as I mentioned earlier, obviously I've said I'm not an expert in comic books and the storylines, the lore, and everything. I'm not crazy into it, so I could be very wrong about some of these things. But if I understand it correctly, if I remember correctly, these different Supermen were sort of a almost like a backup system that came out of the Fortress of Solitude. I feel like there was something that happened at the Fortress of Solitude, which we'll jump into that as we get later in the story here in the game, because it does cover that. It was a very strange thing that these were like almost like each one of these guys was sort of a piece of Kal-El, if you will, like a certain trait of him, but then like kind of only that and an extreme version of it. The only one standing out as being truly their own person was the Man of Steel. This was not something, magical or anything like that. This was a guy who was once saved by Kal-El, and he wanted to do right by the city, and he made that suit and goes at it that way. So let's dive back into the game and work our way through here. We're going to plow through some of these guys and get to, later in the story here, and then I'm going to show you something really awesome that came along in the form of the comic books, but also another medium as well. So let's dive back into the game. Okay, let's unpause that. So now we're Super Cyclops. So this one, the Superboy, in this particular case, I don't think this is his son. I could be wrong about that, but I don't think this one is his son. But he eventually they're in one version, because these things were like rebooted so many times, right? These storylines. Eventually there is actually Superman's son, but I don't know in what version, of the story, because the story has been rebooted and redone multiple times in comic books. The same thing has happened in Marvel over the years, and I think as comic book fans, that's something people just expect to happen eventually. Oh, you know what? I didn't check this guy's power. Oh, he's got, like, laser hands. That's crazy. Oh, that's weird. Alright, let's check his power move with a group. Oh! Whoa. Oh, that's actually kind of... That's kind of creepy. Look at it, he, like, shuts down the lights, pulls all the light away. That almost looks like Brightburn, to be honest. That's creepy. Superboy in the TV show Titans is a clone of Lex Luthor and Clark Kent. Oh my god, I didn't watch all of Titans. I watched the first like 2 episodes that were focused on Raven. I didn't watch any more of it though. I really got to jump back to that. I think that's on Max. I gotta check that out. I love the look. Look how high up his cape is on the shoulder. I don't know if it was that high in the comic book. It was, you know, high, but I don't know if it was that high. It's kind of extreme. These guys out of here. It's cool when Dick Grayson becomes Nightwing. Oh, nice. See, I gotta watch that show. I did watch. I watched a bunch of, which is the show that has Brendan Fraser in it, as that like robot looking dude. I watched a bunch of that show. There was like a group of misfits all together. I know that kind of coincides with Titans. There was a bunch of shows, like I started some stuff and then, you know, life was happening. Doom Patrol, yeah. I watched a bunch of that and I really liked it. I fell off the ball with some of this stuff, just timing and everything. I gotta jump back into a bunch of shows. There's just so many, there's just too many shows to watch, guys. Umbrella Academy, I haven't watched that. Is that the one with, like, there's like a gorilla or something? Maybe I'm thinking of something else, but I know I haven't watched Umbrella Academy. But Doom Patrol I watched some of. You enjoyed Titans? Yeah, I gotta jump back into that. You know, it was the only reason I even started to watch Titans, because I wasn't all that familiar with the Teen Titans that much until my kids started watching Teen Titans, like the silly version. And in all honesty, I had a lot of fun watching that show with my kids because I thought the show was hilarious. I even took my son to see the movie that came out, Teen Titans Go to the Movies. Hilarious, by the way, and an insanely good soundtrack. That movie is absolutely hilarious. Yeah, the WB animated Batman and Superman movies, I have a few of them. Oh, here's Man of Steel. Oh my god. Look at this, we're fighting him. We're fighting the Man of Steel. So I remember this Superman, the one we're playing as with the visor. I remember him being pretty brutal in the comic. Like, he was like, I'm gonna be the judge, jury, and executioner. Like, this guy was intense. So Man of Steel going after him makes a lot of sense. I gotta land some hits. Get out of here. Get out of here. Okay, level 3 is in the books. Yeah, so he was basically, yeah, this Superman acted like Judge Dredd. He was pretty intense. With a wave of my hand, I could destroy you, Man of Steel. Yeah, this guy was brutal. It takes more than power to be a Superman. It takes humanity and compassion. Absolutely. Perhaps you are right. Go in peace, Man of Steel. Together we shall watch over Metropolis. So that's good. That's good that they decide to team up here and work their way through. Meanwhile, an enormous spacecraft appears over Coast City. Is that... That's not Brainiac. And destroys it completely. I don't remember that. Wow. I must go investigate the destruction of... Oh, no, I do remember what that is. Okay. I'm thinking, I was like, what is that, Brainiac or something? But no, it's not. It's not Brainiac. All right, level 5, guys. We're halfway. Ambush at Coast City. Are we still Super Cyclops? I think we are. Yes, we are. And we're in a shooter stage. Man, it's at the end of the world back there. I'm gonna look up if this was ever actually in the arcades. What it said, Amish at Coast City. Whew. Yeah, as you can see, these particular levels There's not much to these. I mean, it's the same wave of these robots coming at you. They're not hard to deal with, and these portions are pretty short. Let's plow through these guys. Let's go. Oh, we got... Is that a bomb? That might be a bomb. Oh. Oh. Oh, good. That takes them all out. Oh. I missed. Got him that time. Yeah, this guy's projectile works even better, too. See, why is that? Why was Superman's heat vision the weakest thing in the game? Yeah. Oh, we're dropping bombs. Oh, man. Whew. There's like skeletons all over the ground. Oh, what did I just do? Warbots. I don't know who sent these out. Actually, well, you know what? If these are based on who the end villain is, then these kind of make sense. I guess he would have made these. Spidey! I must go. Sorry, I won't be able to do X-Men stream tonight. I'll post about it when I'm feeling better. Alright, man. Do your thing, dude. Hope you feel better. I did check out the latest X-Men episode today, and I loved it. I also watched the latest Bad Batch episode. We're coming down to it. I think next week is the finale for that. And I'm not sure how many more episodes of X-Men there are. But it feels like we're really coming down to it on that also. Some good stuff out there, guys. Good stuff out there to watch. Oh, here we go. We got a boss battle. It's Cyborg. Oh. Yeah. Oh boy. Oh man, my blaster didn't like do anything to him. Really looks like a Terminator. That works. Oh. Ooh. It's like a cyborg ninja. Oh, he threw me right on a bomb. Get out of here, Cyborg. See, the good thing is if you can land the blaster hit, it can open up for a hit, but you gotta get so close so fast. Oh man, he's whipping me. Oh, kicked in the face. Yeah, he's unrelenting. Alright, there we go, we got him. Oh, cheap shot. Level complete, guys. There we go. We're rocking and rolling here. What are we, about an hour in right now? Okay. All right, with the Eradicator out of the way, my goal draws one step closer. Now to deal with the Superboy. Oh, man, this guy's got a plan. This game was, Sith Apple says this game was consoles only? Okay. Level 6, the Metropolis Kid. Alright, so now we're going into Superboy. Here he is. Superboy. We're fighting the punks again. What does he got? He's got a hand blaster, too. He's considerably smaller than the other Supermen, too. Oh, that's a good power-up right there. Look how confident he walks and everything. I remember his character, he was very cocky, he was very full of himself. Oh, he's hitting on women and everything too throughout the comics, when you did see him. I think, if I remember correctly, I think Lex tried to manipulate him too. He's got the coolest suit by far. He's got the leather jacket and everything. X-Men style boots. Kid's awesome. Woo! Look how many hits these guys take now. That's insane, right? Yeah, by now it's like the game gets just like ridiculous in difficulty. Like I said, I'm using the cheat code, so we're refilling energy as we go. But this game's really tough to get through on a standard playthrough. There are some continues. I think you get 2 continues. You know, it's doable, but you really got to be careful the whole way. And I'm using, you know, the power move repeatedly because we can. You don't keep them. You know, once you use them up, they're gone until you get a new one. Whew. Got some good moves, too. I like the animation on it. You know, something, I didn't mention this yet. Controls for this game are pretty tight. Everything works really good. I mean, it feels right for a standard beat-em-up. Nothing too crazy with it. Nothing feels like it's not working quite right. It all feels really good. Again, this is the Super Nintendo version of the game. This was on the Sega Genesis as well. And as I mentioned earlier, slightly smaller sprites. So I've always liked the Super Nintendo version of this better. Alright, the streets of Metropolis are safe once again. Now to go check out Coast City. Coming down to it, guys. Alright, we're back into these, like, death fields here. God, I keep forgetting this guy's up in the air there. He shoots me in the back every time. Boom. Ooh, that move like makes a lot of flashing on the screen. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, these guys take a lot of hits. Some of them don't go all the way down with that power move. So it's almost like SuperBoy is a little less powerful than the other ones. So it puts him at a little bit of a disadvantage, it feels like. And you can see like how repetitive these levels are. This type of game tended to be like that back in the day, which in all honesty, we just, you know, we were used to this back in the day. You know, if something came out now and did this, people would be pretty upset. But we didn't mind stuff like this, especially the arcade style like this. Playing games like this, 2-player with friends. I believe this was a 1-player only game, though. I don't recall this being co-op at all. Whew, I missed completely. That would be pretty cool, though, if you could play this co-op and have 2 of these Supermen together on screen. That would be awesome. It wouldn't make sense for the story, but it would be a lot of fun to play. Whew. Get out of here, you guys. The guy in purple looks like something out of He-Man. So are we going to have to fight Cyborg again, too? Yes, we are. Oh, my goodness. Speaking of which, I didn't realize we were at the end. SuperBoy is a little faster. He's a little faster, guys. He's punching and kicking. Actually, I think SuperBoy is actually my favorite to play as in this so far. I remember really liking Man of Steel, though, because you got that big hammer. Oh boy. Yeah, SuperBoy. Let's go. Actually able to land hits. Where were you with Doomsday? Nice. He's got youth on his side. He's not arthritic. Oh, he's going for another cheap shot. He's captured. Alright, where am I? What's going on? Nerd Mafia says, damn, why can't I get Maximum Carnage on the Nintendo Switch store? Right? They need more third-party games on there. You are in what used to be Coast City, now Engine City, and you are witnessing the restructuring of your planet. How messed up is that? This is insane. You'll never get away with it. Cyborg looks so creepy. I must proceed with my plans to erect a second engine city in Metropolis. Goodbye for now, Super Child. This guy's got evil intentions here, guys. I must find a way to escape. I've got to warn the world. Here we go, guys. Meanwhile, among the polar ice caps far to the north within the Fortress of Solitude, a being flutters weakly back to life. Alright. Now, things are getting interesting. What is this, level 7? Well, let's get through the shooter level here. Alright, SuperBoy's making his escape. Something's happening at the Fortress of Solitude. Whew. I would love to see a remake of this game. I think this game would be awesome in a remake with a bit more to it, put a bit of a modern twist on it, but I would love to also keep the beat-em-up style, you know? Like, I've seen beat-em-ups remade, like Streets of Rage and stuff like that, and done really well. I think this game could benefit from that. Oh, that was a short one. That was a really short one. Newsflash! A fifth hero has appeared claiming to be the real Superman. The Man of Steel has gone to investigate. There he is, guys. Don't let the outfit fool you. I'm Superman and I'm back. Guys, we have the black suit and the long hair on Kal-El. How do I know you're for real? Yes, the guy's answering, he's asking the right questions. Hey, we've got more important things to worry about. The Cyborg plans to use Engine City to take over the entire planet. Not if I can help it. I love the dark suit Superman. And the long hair and everything too. He's so badass. What are we waiting for? Let's go. Apparently there's an app called Delta that allows you to play the retro games on your phone. Yes, the Stanleys. And I got it recently and it works. It's Batman in disguise. He always wears black. Real White Nation, what's going on, dude? Oh, I saw your post about your mug. That looks awesome. Oh, we're playing as Man of Steel now, guys. Look, he's got the hammer. Let's see, what's his power move? A big slam. Let's go, Man of Steel. Now remember, this guy does not have superpowers. This is a guy in a suit that he's made with some weaponry, and it's all made of steel. But he can fly because he's got rocket boots. Yeah, Mullet Man. Boom. Get this guy out of the air. War World, it's called. Wow. So now we've got multiple of these Supermen, along with the real Superman, teaming up to go against the Cyborg Superman, who's looking to just redo the world out of machinery and other cyborgs like himself. What's up with villains always wanting to, like, remake the world? They gotta destroy it first to do it. It's like I always laugh with like villains that are like, I'm gonna destroy the whole world. It's like, well then, you won't be here either. I got everybody cornered right here. Oh, that guy got out. Oh, I got a hand cannon. Oh! Where are you guys coming from? I got teleporters. Take him out in the air. Oh, that was a good grab move right there. Yeah, I want to get the guy before he spins up like Sonic the Hedgehog. Woo. I remember there being a Superman game in the arcades. It was co-op, and you would like fly through Metropolis and different areas. I remember having a lot of fun with that game. Put a lot of quarters into that machine. And that had good heat vision powers and flight and everything. Let's get through these guys. Whew, more bing bongs. There we go. We're getting really close. I didn't catch if it said a level number. Is this still level 7? Or, I mean, level 6? Did we not actually progress? I'm not sure. I didn't catch it when we transitioned. Oh! Rid of this Sonic the Hedgehog ripoff. Yeah, we got. See, it's like the same enemies over and over. Occasionally, they give them like a different name, but it's the same mechanics and you know the same way of fighting. You can see how like relentless some of them are. How many hits they take, which can get pretty crazy. Considering that, you know, you're playing as Superman and you're fighting punks that take 100 hits. It's insane. Alright, where are we at? Where are we at? Should be close to the boss battle here. There's one boss battle. I remember there being a trick. And it's like this big, like, Terminator-looking head. And after you take out the weapons... the blasters, the trick is to stay like near its teeth, and I think from there you could just keep hitting it and not get hit, but you have to get rid of its cannons first because it'll still shoot things from like, I think it's from its eyes. It might be this level. Get out of here, Warworlder. This is all stuff that the Cyborg is building. And in the story, Superman is still trying to regain his energy, his powers. Like, he's really weak at this point, when you first get to Dark Suit Superman. Oh, they got that pack of Star Wars games on there? Yeah, I got those when they first came out. The re-releases that Aspire did. Really awesome on the Nintendo Switch, Nerd Mafia. I definitely recommend getting those. Playing like Jedi Outcast and Jedi Academy on there is so cool. And then playing KOTOR also. KOTOR works really well on the Switch. It's really good. Alright, where we at? Where we at? Another spot that KOTOR works amazing, guys, is Knights of the Old Republic on mobile. Get it on your phone. It's incredible. I play Knights of the Old Republic on my iPhone all the time. And let's not forget Pod Racer. You are correct. Yes, absolutely. Pod Racing is awesome. We gotta be close to the end of this level right here. Oh, this flying guy. Whew, get out of here. Alright, there we go. There we go. Alright, what level number are we at? We're really close. Alright, they're too late to stop the destruction of Metropolis. Launch the missile. Oh my god, this guy's a maniac. Engine City has just launched a missile heading straight for Metropolis. Oh, my apologies, everybody. Somebody's gonna clip that. We've gotta stop it. Whoops. This is a PG stream. Come on now. Oh my goodness. No sweat, the kid will handle this one. Daryl, what's up, dude? He just gifted 5 Matcave Gaming memberships. Holy moly, dude. We're gonna pause the game. We're up to level 8. Hold on a second. We're gonna jump back to the game in just a second. Thank you so much, my friend. Daryl the Derelict has gifted 5 Matcave Gaming memberships. We got one going to Real Wade Nation Gaming Clips. We got Dawn Claren. We got one Wolf MCOC. D-Man Gaming and Brandon the Anime Guy are all now members. Thank you so much, everybody. Enjoy the custom emojis. We're going to have some look out for members-only posts in the community tab. And thank you guys all so much for all of the amazing support that you provide here. It's awesome. This community, guys, is just absolutely insane. Sith Apple says, Kismet is a female cosmic being and the protector of the universe. Adventures of Superman number 500. Okay, so that's who we saw up in the sky in that other issue. Okay, good to know. Very, very cool. That's a good one to know. There we go. I'm glad the alerts are working too. All right, guys, level 8. Let's do this. Metropolis Ground Zero. We're getting real close. 2 more levels. Oh, what is this? We actually have a boss battle in one of these levels. Just take out the engines. Oh no, I gotta take out the cannon too. There we go. What do we got? Red orb. Cannon. Boom. Superman shields. SuperBoy again. Nice. Just plowed right through that. That's awesome. Nermafia says, I don't know how you got me interested in this, but now I'm all in and have to see it through. We're getting really close, dude. Alright, our only hope of destroying the city is something. I missed what he said right there. But the city is powered by kryptonite. If you're the real Superman, you won't survive. I'll go alone. Alright, we're going in as Man of Steel again here. Look at this shot right there. Love it. Love it, guys. Yeah, Kal-El's still healing. He's still restoring his powers at this point. Level 9. Yo, level 8 was so short. The engine's core, guys. We are so close to the end of the game. Oh, God, I remember this. Look at this. Alright, guys, just imagine playing this level without the cheat code. Oh, those balls of kryptonite hitting me? Look at all this is kryptonite. Can I hit that thing? But watch, every time something hits me, watch how much energy comes away. Especially the electric kryptonite. And these. I can't break them. Look at that. I can't hit these things. How am I supposed to dodge these? Like these, like I can get past these easy enough. This is the weakest weapon. Alright, let's just get in there. These right here are what wreck you in this level. I think this is where the big Terminator face is that I was talking about before. I'm gonna see if the trick I'm thinking of, if that works. I can't break these. I just have to try to dodge them. Oh. Yep, Kal-El would not have survived here. This is all kryptonite. Angelina, good to see you. Oh, I'm getting wrecked again. Now there's something I can hit. Get out of here. Oh. Oh my god. Oh my god. And shooting this weapon, it's like the weakest weapon, and it takes forever to shoot. Look at that. It hit the thing, it didn't even break it. Oh, these things don't follow me? Yeah, this is one of those nightmare levels, guys, that, like, if you played this originally, and you died here and used up all your continues, this is where you lost your mind. This is one of those, I don't want to play this anymore levels. I'm sure there were plenty of rage quits that happened back in the day. People ripping this cartridge. Oh, there it is, the Terminator face. Alright, I gotta get these weapons up here. Boom. I get this one. And then if I hang out at his teeth, right here. Oh yeah, there we go. Take that. Hammer to the face. Weird things like that you end up remembering. Meanwhile, far to the north in the Fortress of Solitude, what do we got? A regenerated Eradicator streaks towards Engine City. So, okay, Eradicator, that was his name, the one with the shades. So he's all powered up. Guys, level 10, the return of Superman. We are on the final level where we are going to get our final boss battle as well. Here we go, guys. Look at this. You even got Black Suit Superman there. And Cyborg shot all of them and merged. They, like, merged into Superman. That was crazy. I don't remember if that's exactly how that happened in the story. But we have the iconic Superman back, guys. Let's go find Cyborg and kick his butt. Will heat vision work better? Nope. Still doesn't work. Boom. Let's go. Let's go, Soups. Let's do this. Let's go find Cyborg. Let's wreck this guy. Oh. There you go, Cyborg. Not to be confused with, you know, Cyborg, the good guy from Teen Titans. Cyborg in Teen Titans Go is hilarious. He's my favorite. Between him and Beast Boy, they're so much fun. Oh no. Oh boy. There's a lot of bad guys. Oh, get out of here. Look how many are showing up. What'd you just find, Nerd Mafia, that you can play on your phone? Are you talking about KOTOR? It's so good on the phone, I'm telling you. I am telling you. I've been playing KOTOR on my phone for years. That got released on the phone and just like flew under the radar. Oh, Maximum Carnage? Oh, let's go, dude. You using Delta? Delta's pretty cool. By the way, I tested this. If you have the attachment for your phone, the backbone, you know, the thing that works for the phones that will mimic like either a PS5 controller or an Xbox controller, put your phone in that, and it works with Delta, and it works great. Was there a sequel to Maximum Carnage? Not that I'm aware of. I don't think there was. Do I have that in my Sega right now? I have the red cartridge. I love that cartridge. A little delayed? Is my camera delayed? Yeah. Oh. So many bad guys in this level. We just want to go kick Cyborg's butt. Oh, is it about to happen? Oh, what do we got? What do we got? Where is he? There he is! Let's go, Cyborg. You ain't the real Superman. I'm the real Superman. Let's go! Oh! Punch me in the face! Oh! Kick me in the nuts! Pow! Let's go, Terminator. Oh! Oh boy, he's bringing it. He's bringing it. Oh. 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 I missed. Oh. He's throwing out the specials too. Oh. Let's go. Oh, we're taking you down. We're taking you down. You're about to go. Let's go. With the uppercut and everything. Let's go. We did it. We did it, guys. We did it. We did it. You're the real thing, all right. And I love that they took the images right from the comics. These images. Pretty awesome. The one and only. Let's go. Alright, so I don't know what happened there in the game. It looked like they merged, but they're clearly here. Look at that shot of Soups with the long hair and everything. Alright, amazing. What I've experienced defies description. Doomsday killed me, and the Cyborg nearly destroyed the Earth. The Eradicator brought me back to life and full power. I should feel tired, but I don't. I'm rejuvenated in a way I never thought possible. I have no idea what's coming next. But I know whatever it is, I'll be able to handle it better than ever. So at this point, Superman not only comes back, but he is like juiced up. Like he is ready to go. The most powerful version of Superman that we had to date at that point. And now we get the gaming credits, guys, here. Blizzard Entertainment brought us this game. Dude, he's on steroids. Look at that black suit, Superman. I love that shot. That looks so awesome. Man, what do you guys think of that game? The Death and Return of Superman on the Super Nintendo. A crazy cool beat-em-up game, but a very difficult beat-em-up game. Like I said, we use cheat codes tonight so that we can get through all 10 levels without much of a problem. But when you play it, you know, legit, when you play it for real, the difficulty level spikes quite a bit. all right, guys, we are going to move over to... Oh, wait a minute. We got one more ending screen here? Oh, no, it's just more credits. All right, we're going to head back to our full screen because we're going to talk a little bit further into this saga here because there's a couple cool things I want to show you. All right, guys. Whew, man, what a game, guys. The Death and Return of Superman, my favorite version of it on the Super Nintendo. It's also available on the Sega Genesis. If you've never played it and want to get your hands on it, check out your local retro gaming shop. See if you can find it maybe on eBay at a reasonable price. I'm sure you can. Definitely a game worth picking up. Now, The Death of Superman was re-released a few times over the years. This originally came out in 1992 and worked its way through 1993. Now, Nermuffy says, wait, we're not talking about Pokemon tonight? Maybe another stream. So, I mentioned earlier in the stream that this story came with a bit of controversy. So, the way I remember it, the way I experienced it, is this happened, the event happened of the death of Superman. And this was about, when that finally happened, it was about like 1993, or beginning of 1993. And as far as we knew, as fans, we're like, oh my God, they killed him off. If I understand it correctly, the plan was for him to remain dead. That this truly was the death of Superman. And it was a huge, huge event. But something happened on the back end. Sales of DC Comics started to drop dramatically. They were starting to lose money. It was this huge drop that happened almost immediately. And in what seemed like a bit of a panic, work began right away to resurrect Superman. And later that same year, we ended up getting the return of Superman. Now, I don't have those issues with the return of Superman. I have just up to Reign of the Supermen. So I don't have the full story here in physical media, but I would love to get my hands on it eventually and kind of complete this set. But when that happened, some fans looked at this like there was some sort of, like they were tricked. They felt that DC did it on purpose, like, oh, they already knew they were bringing him back to life. But from what I understand, the real story was Superman was killed by Doomsday, and he was supposed to stay dead. And by doing that, build up other characters, especially within the Justice League. That was the plan as far as I understood. But the backlash and well, not really the backlash, but the drop in sales that happened almost immediately when it came to DC Comics was so intense that the company was like, we have to bring him back. And they did almost right away. So I think even with that, I think the story, the death and the resurrection of Superman, I think is a really solid story and one of my favorites in comic book history. But I'm really curious, though, what would the world of comic books look like right now if it stayed the way it was meant to be? What if Superman did not return? What types of characters would come from that? How much more would other characters be built up? You know, there's definitely the heavy hitters out there, Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman, things like that. Like, you get these top tier characters that everybody knows. But then as you start to go through the roster, there's a lot more unknown characters to the general public. And it's nice to see those characters kind of rise up and get some well-deserved attention. So I'm curious what the landscape would have been like if Superman had stayed dead. Honestly, we'll never know, but hey, maybe somewhere out there in the multiverse, that's how it actually played out. But luckily for a fan like myself, who absolutely loves Superman, the character was resurrected, came back. We got all new forms of Superman. In fact, even his origin story has been retold multiple times in the years since with some changes. And I'm going to show you something that I have here. I really love this graphic novel, Superman Birthright. Um, this particular one is a retelling of his origin story, and I think it's really well done. They go back into like the realm of his days in Smallville throughout the story. I mean, it's a long book here, guys. It's really good. One of my favorites, and I'm looking forward to rereading this. I really like the art style in this one as well. It gets pretty dark at some points, but overall, it's a really well done comic book here. I think this one is really interesting, and it's it's a fun kind of not so much a reimagining, but putting a little bit of a twist on his origin story. Nerd Mafia says, not gonna lie, I always hated Superman. Always seemed lazy to make an invincible character. Yeah, there's layers to Superman, in all honesty, but I understand that's very common with a lot of fans that don't like Superman so much. Because of how powerful he is. The side of his character that I've always loved is the fact of how much he has to put effort into holding back. That was one of the things that always fascinated me about his character. It was how powerful he was. He had no choice but to hold back because he knew how much damage he could do and how much harm he could do. Like Superman having to pull his punches and things like that. Like when he does like really lose it, we've seen him do some insane things. But the fact that he has to hold that back, that in itself, I kind of see like a superpower. It's pretty intense. What he goes through. It's pretty insane. But going back to the death of Superman, it has been re-released multiple times in other forms of media as well. There was an animated film that came out. Will we see this change on here? Yeah, you can kind of see that change. Look at that. It actually gets picked up on the camera. I love that. I love DVD covers that do this. It's really cool. So Superman Doomsday came out. What year did this come out? I should be able to see the year on the back here, if I can find it. What year did this one come out? Because this was pretty early on. A lot of cool special features in this. This one's pretty short though. It's 75 minutes. It's just over an hour. So nothing too crazy. It kind of rushes through the story a bit. So I really enjoyed this one. I was thrilled to get this when it came out. But most recently, they did another animated film. And this time, that one came out in 2007. This one was way more recent. They did another Death of Superman. And the cool thing about this is Death of Superman and Reign of the Supermen. So what they did here, they did it in two parts, which is amazing because we get the Death of Superman story, and we also get the Reign of the Superman story. So we get the two discs in there, which is great. I got this on 4K Blu-ray, and the thing I loved about this release was it wasn't just the movie that came out. What came out was a re-release, beautiful hardcover edition of the Death of Superman. And check this out, guys. In the back were the movies. Now, I put the Blu-ray copies in here. I kept the Blu-ray copies here in the book, and I put the 4K copies, the ones that I watch, to keep them more accessible in the Blu-ray case. But in the back were these sleeves for the movie, and this is how I got that new animated movie that came with a full re-release of the comic, guys. And it's gorgeous. I mean, this is like updated pages. Like I kind of got more of that like glossy feel to it. So they updated the quality level of the pages, so it doesn't have that like classic comic book feel, but it's a nice sturdy edition, and the fact that it's a hardcover copy of this, I mean, just with the border and everything, it really is an absolutely wonderful re-release of this story. This I know is still out for sale in a lot of places. You could probably even find this in bookstores and all, like things like Borders and stuff, or what, Barnes and Noble. I'm trying to think of. If you can get your hands on this, not only is it a great read because it's a great graphic novel, but the movie, this movie, The Death of Superman and Reign of the Supermen, is fantastic. It's rated PG-13, but honestly, it's borderline rated R, in my opinion. It is violent. It's intense. There's blood and gore in this. It is not, and I repeat, it is not a children's film. This is a dark DC animated film, and if you've never seen it, please go see it. If you, I mean, there's so much more in this one than the other one had. These two films are very different from each other. This one, being the most recent one, is much longer, goes into way more detail. We get a lot more scenes with the Justice League. We get things going on with Atlantis and Aquaman. There is so much good content in this movie. And I can't recommend this enough. This is amazing. And by the way, the animated films in 4K are gorgeous. They are absolutely gorgeous. So, yes, if you can get your hands on that, I definitely recommend it. Nermafia says, dude, seriously, I'm watching you and convinced you hijacked your local rental store from the 90s with your background. Dude, there's no back. That's the back of my room. That's my racks. I turn on the lights red and blue for the sake of Superman. But I got movies and games and stuff back there, and then there's more stuff over on the other side, too. Yeah, it's like converted to a little blockbuster. I love this, and I've been re-going through. You can see there's some spaces in there. We've been reorganizing a little bit, and I actually donated a bunch of duplicates that I had of some movies to our local public library, which is great. Get them into a nice home, and other people can enjoy them. But I've been rebuilding a whole bunch in there, and filling in some new physical media. I've posted some pictures on our community tab as well. I'm working on completing my MCU physical collection. I'm really close. I have all the movies now, and I want to get the shows on hard copy as well. So I'm working my way through that, but I love stuff. I love the physical media, man. It's awesome. So yeah, this I have loved this story of the death and return of Superman since it came out. And as I mentioned earlier, what made it really special for me was that these comic books were gifted to me from my grandfather before he passed in 1993. And this set I've had since then. They're not, they're a little worn, a little beat up. These things I've read them, quite a few times over the years. These were comics that didn't just sit in plastic or anything. They got use. I'm not really a collector. I use everything I have. So they're a little worn, but they're still in great condition. And now my kids are old enough to start to enjoy them, and I'll be passing those on to them as well. But such an amazing story. My favorite superhero of all time, Superman. Honestly, it'll never be topped. I am a diehard Superman fan and always will be. I know there's things people don't like about that character, but in all honesty, it's okay with me. It's fine. I love that character. Christopher Reeve bringing that character to life was just absolutely amazing, and created one of my favorite films of all time. But what an amazing time that was, seeing the biggest character of all time meet his demise, and not knowing for quite a while whether or not we'd ever see him again. And then we did eventually get the return of Superman, which was an amazing storyline as well. But guys, it spawned some amazing things: graphic novels, comic books, animated shows, animated movies, and then video games like we played tonight on the Super Nintendo. Such a cool game. I hope you enjoyed that game. 10 levels of beat 'em up awesomeness in the DC universe. I had a lot of fun playing this guys with you tonight, and I loved kind of veering off a little bit and diving into a little bit of uncomfortable territory and talking about the comic books with you guys, because it's just all tied together. A lot of fun. I would love to do more things like this as well. Now, before we wrap up, the plan for our next stream, guys. Previously, we played some 8-bit games. We played The Adventures of Dino Ricky. If you haven't checked out, the replay is up there. Check it out. An amazing 8-bit game on the NES. Tonight, we dove into the 16-bit territory, and we played The Death and Return of Superman on the Super Nintendo, which means next week, we are diving into 32-bit games. And I've got a couple of choices that I'm going to go with, but here's what we're going to do. I'm going to put a poll up in our community tab for you guys to decide which 32-bit game we're going to play on the next I can't even speak today. We're going to see which 32-bit game we're going to play on the next Wayback Wednesday. I'll have that poll up shortly. So guys, definitely check it out when it's there. Cast your vote. Leave some comments. Let me know what you think of the choices. Let me know if you've played those games before. There's going to be one in particular. I'm gonna give you a little heads up here. It's not going to be the game we play the whole time, but there is a 32-bit game that we're going to try that was never officially released. It is a very unfinished game, but I think, especially now, it's worth checking out. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and spoil it, guys. There's an unfinished X-Men game that came out on the Sega 32X. And guys, it's weird, and you play as Bishop. And we're going to check that out next week alongside the actual game we're going to play. Oh, Pod and Palpatine, I wish it was Star Wars 1313. I would have loved to have played that game. But guys, we're going to have some fun in the 32-bit territory next week on Wayback Wednesday. Thank you all so much for being here. I absolutely had a blast. You guys are amazing. And until next time, everybody, remember, keep retro gaming alive, because one day your games will be retro too. Whew. That was a lot of Superman tonight, huh? That's a lot of Supermen. I'll see you guys next week. Have a great night.